Greetings of the day to all my dear students. I hope that you all are in good health. This is Shreya Jadhav welcoming you all to my e-learning channel. And today I want to start this video lecture with one of the famous person's quote. Thomas Alva Edison. He quotes, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time." So, my dear students, never lose hope and never give up. Because when you give up, it shows that your weakness is greater than your strength. So, always be positive, stay positive, and take a step ahead. And for sure, you will reach the success. So, today we are going to learn English grade 10 poetry, The Tale of the Custard Dragon, written by Organ Nash. So, before starting with the poetry, let us know something about the poet. Frederick Ogden Nash was born on August 19, 1902 and died on May 19, 1971, was an American poet well known for his light verse, which he wrote over 500 pieces. With his unconventional rhyming schemes, he was declared the country's best known producer of humorous poetry. Introduction for answer. So, whenever you start your answers, always keep in mind to start your answers with introduction. So, poem name, The Tale of the Custard Dragon. Poet's name, Ogden Nash. Genre, poetry, or you can write over here ballad also, because this is a ballad. Summary. The poet Ogden Nash has penned an imaginative poem about a girl named Belinda who lived in a white house with her pets, a black kitten, a grey mouse, yellow dog, and a dragon. They also had a red wagon for traveling. So, now let us go through the summary of the poem. The poet Ogden Nash has penned an imaginative poem about a girl named Belinda who lived in a white house with her pets, a black kitten, a grey mouse, yellow dog, and a dragon. They also had a red wagon for traveling. The black kitten was called Ink. The grey timing mouse was called Blink. The yellow dog was named Mustard, and the dragon was a coward, so he was called Custard. Custard the dragon had sharp teeth, spikes on the top, and scales beneath him. His mouth was a fireplace. He had a nose resembling to a chimney, and he had dagger like toes. Belinda was herself as brave as a barrel full of bears. Ink and Blink could chase Lion down the stairs, and Mustard was as brave as a tiger. But Custard was cowardly. He preferred to be in a cage that would keep him safe. Belinda and her other pets made fun of Custard by being cowardly. Belinda tickled him. Ink, Blink, Mustard ironically compared him with Percival. When Custard wanted to be put in the cage, Belinda and her other pets giggled a lot, and Ink and Mustard rudely asked him how old he was, as he was scared of everything. Once Belinda and her pets heard an unpleasant sound. Mustard sensed the trouble and he started growling. Ink and Belinda cried out as they saw Pirate climbing into their house through their window. The pirate had guns in both hands and a bright enough gap between his teeth. He had a black beard and a wooden leg. The pirate had really come with no good intentions. Belinda was so afraid that she cried out loudly for help. Mustard ran away. Ink went and hid in the basement, and Blink went into a mouse hole. Custard was the only one who remained with Belinda, and he jumped up and started snorting like an engine in anger at the pirate. Then he beat his tail against the floor, and it sounded like the metal chains being banged in a dungeon. At last, he charged towards the pirate like a robin who would at worm to eat it. The pirate was shocked on seeing Custard that he took a drink from his bottle. He then fired two shots at Custard from his pistol, but the bullets didn't hit Custard, and the dragon finished him up by gobbling him up totally. Belinda was so happy with Custard that she gave him a hug and Mustard lifted him. Both approved of him. Nobody thought about the pirate who was gobbled up by the dragon. Ink and Blink started dancing in happy mood. However, Mustard, the little dog, confessed that he would have been twice as brave if he hadn't been angry. Ink and Blink said that they would have been 3 times as brave. Custard agreed that everyone was braver than him. All was normal again with Bed in and with her pets. They lived in the White House and used their red wagon. Ink, Blink, and Mustard still appeared to be brave as Custard was still coward, longed for a safe cage. So, my dear students, this is a short summary of the poetry. Now, let us go through the reading and explanation of the same. So, let us start the poetry. The Tale of Custard the Dragon. This poem is written in the style of ballad, a song or a poem that tells a story. You must be familiar with ballads that narrate tales of courage and heroism. This poem is a humorous ballad close to a parody. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really trillo little pet dragon. So over here in the first you can see that as this is a parody, it is in a sing-a-song manner it has been written. So over here the difficult word is wagon, which means a vehicle which is used for transporting from one place to another. So over here the poet says that once there was a little girl named Belinda. She lived in a little white house. She lived with some creatures who were her pets. Those creatures were black kitten, a little grey mouse, a yellow dog, and a little red wagon, and a creature that the pet says was really and truly a dragon. Now the second stanza. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard. But the dragon was a coward, and she called him Custard. So over here, mustard is a sort of a yellow color flower. Coward means a person who is very weak, who is very afraid actually. So the poet explains the name of all the animals that are tamed by Belinda. He says that the name of the black kitten is Ink. The name of the grey mouse is Blink. The little yellow dog, which had yellow color, so she calls him Mustard. Mustard is a sort of a seed which is also yellow in color. And the dragon that was coward means he was really very weak. So he called him Custard. The third stanza. Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on the top of him and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace, chimney for a nose, and trillo draggers on his toes. So over here spikes means thin pointed surface, scales means thin bony plates protecting the skin of fish and reptiles, underneath means below, fireplace is an outdoor structure which has been put, it is a structure of bricks which is being made, or we can say for an open fire it is being put. Dagger is a sharp knife. So over here the poet describes the dragon that it had big sharp teeth and spikes on top. This means that its skin was pointed on the top. On the lower part it had scales which were bony plates to protect the skin. His mouth has been compared to a fireplace because it is assumed that dragons can release fire from the mouth. Even his nose is compared to a chimney, which is used to pass out smoke. His feet are like sharp knife, that is a dagger. So the next paragraph is Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice safe cage. So barrel is a drum, chased means to follow, rage means anger. So over here now the poet explains the inner strength or the bravery of various characters of the poem. He says that Belinda was as brave as a group of bears, and Ink and Blink were so brave that they could hunt lions. So here he has shown the bravery of kitten and the little mouse that could even hunt a lion. The dog was very brave, just like an angry tiger. But to contrast of all of them was Custard. Custard, the dragon, was not brave. He was so afraid of everything that he always demanded a safe cage to stay. Fifth stanza. Belinda tickled him. She tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon. So over here, and at the Relio Trelio cowardly dragon. So over here, tickled is a stroke, means to tease someone. Unmerciful means cruel, and percival means we can say that he was a knight in King Arthur's court. So Belinda used to stroke the dragon in a very cruel way. Ink, Blink, and Mustard made fun of him by comparing him to a knight named Percival, who was thought to be brave but ran away due to lack of courage. They used to tease the dragon while sitting in their little red wagon. The sixth stanza. Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said Wick, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. So over here, giggle means to laugh, and Wick over here is a sort of a sound which is being made by the mouse. So over here, the poet says that Belinda used to laugh so loudly that her voice echoed in the house. Blink, the mouse, used to laugh and make the sound of wick. On the other hand, Ink and Mustard would tease him by asking the dragon his age whenever he used to demand for a nice safe cage. Stanza 7. Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Meouch, cried Ink, and oh, cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. So over here, nasty means a person who is bad. Growled means to bark. Pirate is a person who robs ships in the sea. Winda is a word which is used for window. So, while all of them were making fun of the dragon, they heard a sound of someone entering the house. When they looked towards the window, they saw a pirate climbing up the wall. The dog barked at him, and the kitten mewed at him. Belinda cried, "Oh," because all of them were scared of the pirates. And you know that pirates are people who robs the ships. Stanza 8. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. So over here, pistol, you all know that it is a gun. Cutlass means a short sword with curved blade. So the poet describes the appearance of the pirate. He says that pirate was holding handguns in both his hands and had a little sword too. He was holding his sword with his teeth. He had a black beard and his one leg was made of wood. This means that though the pirate was a disabled person, but still he was frightening all the other characters in the poem. Moreover to that, his intentions were to make people harm. Stanza 9. Belinda paled and she cried, "Help, help!" But Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household, and the little mouse Blink strategically mousehold. So over here, pale means to turn yellow because of some threat or fear. Yelp is a we can say a short cry. Trickled means to run over here. Strategically means to plan, and mouse hole means a hole where the mouse lives. So when all of them saw the pirate, they got frightened. Belinda was so afraid that she turned yellow due to fear and started crying for help. Mustard, the dog, started crying for help too. The kitten, Ink, ran down towards the bottom of the house as if he had already planned for it. The mouse Ink ran into his little mouse hole in order to save himself. Stanza 10. But he jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like irons in the dungons. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. So, over here, snorting means to make a sudden explosive sound through one's nose. Clashed means to fight. Dungon is an underground prison. Clatter clank is a sort of a sound which is being produced by hitting or something which is fallen. Robin is a sort of bird. When all the other characters in the poetries that were earlier defined as very brave got frightened, the dragon did the most unexpected thing. He jumped onto the pirate and made such a strong sound with his nose, as if the engine was producing a sound. Not only this, he hit his tail on the ground with great force, that it produced a heavy sound of a metal being rubbed against each other in the underground prisons. He attacked the pirates just like a robin bird that attacks the worm. Stanza 11. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some gorge from his pocket falcon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit. So, over here, gapped is to keep a mouth wide open, gulped means to swallow down, gorge means to drink, falcon is a silver container in which usually drinks are being stored, like a barrel sort of thing, but this is made up of silver. Gobbled means to quickly swallow down things. So over here, the pirate got so shocked by the dragon's reaction that he opened his mouth wide with shock. To gather some strength, he drank some alcohol from a container in his pocket. After gathering some courage, he fired 2 bullets on the dragon but missed it. Custard the dragon ate every bit of his fierce looking pirate. Stanza 12. Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him, no one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and Blink in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate. So over here, embraced means to hug. Mourn means to feel sorrow about someone who is no more or dead. Victim means a person, or we can say a sufferer. Glee means happy. Gyrate means to dance. So when the pirate was dead, Belinda hugged the dragon and Mustard licked him. No one was sad for the death of pirate. They all were happy. Both Ink and Blink were running around the dragon in happiness. So here the poet says that all the characters were happy and they were showing their gratitude towards dragon as he had saved them. Stanza 13. But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. I would have been twice as brave if I hadn't been flustered. And you spoke Ink, and up spoke Blink. We would have been 3 times as brave, we think, and Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. So, over here, the meaning is flustered means confused. So, here the poet says that after they thanked and showed their love towards the dragon, they changed their mind. They were reminded of how they used to make fun of this coward dragon. And now, look, they all were praising him. So, at once, the dog said that it was just because of some confusion that he wasn't able to do anything. Otherwise, he would have been twice as brave as Custard. Both Ink and Blink also said that they would have been 3 times braver than Custard. To this, the dragon said that he was fully agreed to this, that all of them were more powerful and braver than him. Stanza 14. Belinda still lives in her little white house with her little black kitten, with her little grey mouse, and her little yellow dog, and her little red wagon, and her Relio Trilio little pet dragon. So, over here at the last, um, we can see, we can continue these two paragraphs, 14th and 15th one, because they both are same. Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice, safe cage. So, at the last, we can say the poet used the same lines again to show that after this terrific episode in which the dragon was the hero, where all the other characters still undermined him by saying that they were more powerful than him and would have handled the situation in a much better way. The poet says that life started again in the same manner. Belinda still lives in that little white house with Ink, Blink, Mustard, and Custard, and all of them are very brave. Whereas the dragon is still a coward who always wants to stay safe in his cage. So, my dear students, this is all about the explanation of the poetry. I hope that every one of you have understood the poetry well. So, dear students, today we are keeping it till here. In the next video lecture, we shall discuss about the literary devices, that is the figures of speech. Till then, thank you for watching and have a nice day everyone.